My question is about Social Security. I wonder if Steve supports efforts to privatize Social Security and to invest, have people invest their own Social Security dollars.
Excellent question.
Good question.
Thank you very much. What about that?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question on that. I think, first of all, we have to recognize that, and I take the position that anyone over the age of 55, that Social Security has to be preserved for everyone in the system. And I think what Social Security is, what we're dealing with right now, is a great example of Washington's dysfunctionality, because I think both sides of the aisle know what the levers are to move, but they're not willing to have the courage to address and make the system solvent, because both sides are using it as a stalking horse for other items in the whole broader scheme of tax reform, Medicare, Medicaid. So I think it's an example of something everyone knows the levers. It can be fixed right now. Making decisions right now on eligibility age, means testing, and everything else can make that program solvent. So the question is, why aren't they making it solvent now? Because it's a political football right now.
Do you have a question for the candidate? And just we want to get your progressive thoughts on this as well. Go right ahead.
I'd kind of like to go back to the question that the caller had a couple of minutes ago, which was, do you support the voucherization of Medicare? Because that was very clearly in the in the Ryan budget. And the Ryan budget also, according to the Congressional Budget Office, in fact decreased the time that Medicare is financially sustainable, and that the Obama budgets, in fact, lengthened that time. Now, neither of them have got it on a sustainable basis. So I would agree with you. We need to look at things.
Exactly.
But the question that the caller asked you, and I didn't hear an answer, was, are you in favor of voucherizing or Medicare for people who are under 55?
I think I did answer to say we always have to keep in place a plan for people 55 years and older.
Sure.
Right? I think we know it's insolvent, and we need to look at how do we solve the problem. The big thing about Medicare, which people don't want to talk about, there's $100 billion of fraud in the system. And right now, if you look at a Medicare card, what's on the Medicare card? I don't think anyone here has one. It's your Social Security number and a letter. That's it. So if I get your Social Security number and a letter, I can go commit fraud all day long, and the government has to find it. I'm a technologist. I have a technology background. There's something called a credit card. And a credit card is in every doctor's office today. And a credit card has built into it fraud detection. Why aren't we going down and saying, putting someone in Washington who knows technology to say, we can take out $100 billion of fraud by using credit card technology, which is out there today. Low-cost solution. All of a sudden, that comes out of the system. I think we need to be challenging ourselves, other than is it plan A, plan B, but we just have to do things better. And we need to drive efficiency out of our system.
No one would doubt that we need to reduce the fraud that's in Medicare. No one would doubt that they're technological. Well, we didn't in Republican administrations. We haven't perhaps in Democratic.
Exactly, good point.
But the question still remains, where do you stand on vouchers? And I still haven't heard the answer.
Oh, I said it before. I think we keep the plan in place, and then we have to look at...
For those under 55, where do you stand on vouchers?
We still keep people under 55 should have a path on the plan we have now, and we should allow the market to experiment to say, are there better ways of delivering a more solvent long-term plan?
I want to go back to an earlier question that was asked you at the beginning of the show that I don't think you actually answered. Actually, two questions. Number one, do you support the vouchers for Social Security? And number two, more importantly, everybody keeps talking about the economy, and I didn't hear you answer the question in regards to the Simpson-Bowles proposal. So where do you stand on Simpson-Bowles? So number one, Social Security vouchers. Number two, Simpson-Bowles. Where do you stand on those two topics? Thank you.
Excellent question. Thank you. Simpson-Bowles and the vouchers.
So let's talk about Simpson-Bowles here. Okay.
No obfuscating. You got to sit here and answer the questions.
Oh, perfect. That's why I'm here.
All right.
Simpson-Bowles. First of all, let's be clear. Jim Himes did not vote for Simpson-Bowles. He voted for Cooper-La-Tourette, which his own budget vice chairman said is a shell game. Okay? Simpson-Bowles does provide a good framework of things that people can converge on. It was put together by a Republican and a Democrat, and then President Obama chose not to go down the path of instituting it. As a note goes back and forth here.
And Paul Ryan voted against it.
So the key thing is, the key thing to recognize in all of these plans, and this is what no one's going to tell you, Simpson-Bowles, Gang of Six, Rivlin, Domenici, you know what? We need to create jobs to make those plans solvent. 2.5 million jobs a year, says the CBO. 2.5 million jobs a year. Before those are even solvent, So we have a problem right now. We're doing 70 to 90,000 jobs a year. We're doing about 1 million, okay? So we have got to get our jobs engine going. And the way it's gone so far is through stimulus and big government, where we should be empowering entrepreneurs like my grandfather, myself, and kids coming out of Sacred Heart today, because that's our path forward in terms of how do we grow our economy forward. Second thing on Medicare?
Yeah, vouchers. Vouchers. Here's let me.
I will be clear for a third time.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Okay, for the third time, at least from my standpoint,
yeah.
is number one, people over 55, we don't change the plan. A commitment's been made, and we cannot gut that system like we did with Obamacare to address other, broaden the base of people we're pulling in the system. I think we have to find other better systems to do that, number one, okay? Second of all, I think we need to play with and be creative with alternatives like Medicare Part D to bring in other innovation to solve this problem. So, you know, I don't want to put a label on what it is, but what Medicare Part D was...
Wait, Steve, excuse me. You've said this several times, but you really haven't addressed the question, and you really need to do that. Paul Ryan's plan was to say we are going to give seniors a fixed amount of money, and you can go out and get as much health care with that as you can. And
that's not his current proposal.
That is what was passed.
That is not his current proposal.
That was passed twice by the House, and he didn't change his mind until he became on the ticket with Romney.
What's his current proposal?
What does he really believe? The thing about Paul Ryan is that has really disappointed a lot of people in this country in the last few weeks is there was a guy that seemingly had a set of beliefs, and now he seems to be fudging them.
He disappointed you. He hasn't disappointed me.
I'm delighted with him.
Well, I'm glad you are. Yeah. He's a wonderful guy.
I think so.
The question, though, is, do you support a plan that would give seniors a fixed amount of money, not today, not the ones that are above 55?
That's an option for that.
Would you support that as a way to solve the Medicare problem?
As I said again, above 55,
we know that.
Change, right?
Below 55. 40-year-olds. Do you want to tell a 40-year-old you're going to have a voucher?
You need to take a breath. I know, you're getting away. You want to scare as many elderly people as you can.
No,
I get it.
I'm not. No, we're not trying to scare.
No, we're on to it.
Take the 55 off the table.
Scary vouchers, vote Democrat. We get it. We know we know. Scaring old
answer
people
the question.
is your big
That's all
thing.
we want. It's an answer to the question.
He's going to answer the question.
Because we're against it. We're against it. Are you for it? That's the question.
Let's scare the old people.
I'll answer it the same way I did. We have to keep that plan in place, and we need to look for alternatives to make it solvent. Right? I'm not going to jump on a word here to excite you or calm you, but I think we need to use better, more innovation, use market-driven principles in a way, like we did with Medicare Part D, in a controlled fashion, to give people choice and access to better health care than we have today.